Okay, so an important formula that you're going to have to know, and it's on the board to the left, is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root or radical b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And this is a really simple way to solve quadratic equations. You can solve any one with it, but really the easiest, the only time we really want to use it is if we can't factor it. Then we want to go and revert to the quadratic equation, because if you can't factor it, this is pretty much what you have left. Okay, so we want to get from, by the way, the a, b, and c come from the standard quadratic form, which is, of course, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So what we need to do is see how we get from ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 all the way up to this really kind of busy, complicated looking equation or formula. So it's just simple algebra that gets us there, but it can be a little complicated to follow. So please follow, stop and try something if you need to. You're going to have to give this back to me. So I want you to be an expert at deriving this formula. Okay, start with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And to complete the square, I don't want a constant on the left-hand side. So what I want to do is I'm going to subtract c from both sides. And then I end up with ax squared plus bx equals negative c. And then if you did watch anything on completing the square, then you would know that I also can't have a coefficient for x squared rather. So I can't have this a sitting here. So to get rid of it, I want to divide by a. But if I divide by a here, I need to divide everything by a to maintain equality. So these a's will divide to 1 or just cancel out for us, and what we are left with is x squared plus bx over a equals negative c over a. All right, so now to complete the square, what I have to add to this, to the left-hand side, and this is the square I want to complete on the left-hand side, I have to take half of the b term, so that's half of, I'm just going to do it down here, b over a, and then I want to square that. Half of b over a is b over 2a, and if I square that, it becomes b squared over 4a squared. Now I just want to add that to both sides of my equation. The reason I have to add it to both sides is to preserve equality. So let me give myself some room. Plus b squared over 4a squared equals negative c over a plus b squared over 4a squared. Okay. My left-hand side of my equation, if you, again, practice completing the square, what this is going to factor down to is x plus b over 2a quantity squared. And on the right-hand side, let's just do some work and simplify this by just getting some common denominators. So what we want to do is just multiply the c over a by, I want a 4a squared in the denominator, so I can multiply it by 4a over 4a, and that will become negative c, or rather negative 4ac over 4a squared. And when I combine that with the b squared over 4a squared, what I'm going to get is I'm going to write the b term in front. So I have b squared minus 4ac over 4a squared. So let me actually just write this on another page. So again, now I have x plus b over 2a quantity squared equals b squared minus 4ac all over 4a squared so far. All right, so the next thing I need to do, take the square root of both sides. On the left-hand side, it's just going to get rid of the squaring. On the right-hand side, what I need to remember is plus or minus. So on the left-hand side, this just becomes x equals, or rather x plus b over 2a. And that's going to be equivalent to plus or minus. I'm going to just take the square root of the top and take the square root of the bottom of the fraction. So the square root of the top of the fraction, I just want to leave as b squared minus 4ac. And the bottom of the fraction, the square root of 4a squared is just 2a. All right, so that's actually pretty good because we have a 2a in the denominator here, and we're going to need to move that b term over. So I'm going to subtract b over 2a from both sides. And what I'm left with is, x equals negative b over 2a plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, or rather plus or minus because that's a radical. And then I can just write the numerator as the two numerators as one numerator because I have a common denominator. So then this becomes x equals negative b plus or minus radical b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. You're going to want to go back and watch this video a couple of times because it's complicated, and you're going to want to try deriving it yourself and seeing where you're making mistakes. You're going to need to know how to do this. Thank you.